E? Got it.
Hello and welcome back to the Sports Hub Tailgate on KearneyHub.com. I'm your host Cody Riedel alongside Hub Sports writer Jason Ahrens. Jason, again, we've kind of abandoned the tailgate, but
we did.
I'll take a nice view on Foster Field any day. So
absolutely, and what better time to do it than this week after the Lopers picked up their first win of the season, a 34-20 victory over Southwest Baptist. Sam Cook's pick six sealed a 34-20 victory for the Lopers. Ricky Trinidad took a lot of carries for over 200 yards in the win. So congratulations to the Lopers, and they've got Central Missouri moving forward.
Before we hop into football and the playoff situation, which is exciting, going to put the brakes on right now and talk a little props, state cross country action. Give us your thoughts on what you saw at the Kearney Country Club last week.
First of all, congratulations to the Cozad girls team. They got runner-up, their first state cross-country trophy in school history. And then also you've got Holdridge's Gabby Gracia, who won Class C, her first gold medal at state competition. So congratulations to those groups of people. And then there were a couple record-breaking performances recently. Eli Van Meter of Gibbon, the running back there, broke the school's all-time rushing yards record. And also you've got Kearney High's Katie Higgins, who broke the school's all-time career kills record. So a lot of big-time performances going on as of late. And speaking of performances, a few more props to hand out. Loup City's Riley Lambrick last week against Ansley Litchfield. Over 30 carries for 364 yards rushing and 4 touchdowns. And also you've got Kearney Catholic's Brian Huseman. He got 3 touchdown passes in a big win for the Stars.
Well, let's hit the gas. We're full steam ahead, heading into the football playoffs in prep action. Give us the matchups for each class in the Hub territory.
And I can't believe it's here, playoffs already. I'm excited for it. We'll start with Class A. Obviously, Kearney High, the only area team there. They're hosting Omaha Central right here at Foster Field Friday night. Omaha Central coming in with a 5-4 record. However, they do not have a single victory against a team with a 500 or better record. At the same time, Kearney High's schedule, they've played 5 playoff teams heading into this postseason. But you never know. Class A, you got to be prepared for every round. There's only 16 teams, and the competition is going to be tough. I mean, it's playoff football.
Yeah, I believe the last time Omaha Central came to Kearney for a playoff game, it didn't turn out so well for the Bearcats. So hopefully they'll right the ship this time around. Moving on to the next class. Which class do you want to jump to? There's so many.
C1. Let's
just
just go down the line. C1. We've got a bunch of rematches in C1. We'll start with Kearney. You've got Kearney Catholic hosting Central City. The Stars got a big 48-0 victory over the Bison earlier this year. Abe Clinch, the quarterback, had a big ball game in that one, passing the ball because that's what Central City was giving them. So it'll be interesting to see Thursday night what kind of defense Central City brings, if they're going to try to shut down the run again or if they're going to have to respect that pass this time around. Also, you've got Cozad at Gothenburg. Cozad got a big 42-7 victory over the Swedes earlier this year. And then you've got Minden going to Adams Central. Tough draw for Minden. Adams Central, definitely one of the premier teams there in C1. They got a 35-0 victory over the Whippets earlier this season. So we'll see what Minden can bring to the table in that one. And then finally, you've got Gibbon taking on Broken Bow, a couple area teams. That's a real intriguing matchup to me. Both teams finished the season with 6 wins. Broken Bow got a pretty impressive victory over O'Neill towards the back end of the season, giving the Eagles their first loss of the season. You know, this is just an intriguing matchup that's probably going to be a competitive football game.
Good deal. A lot of action in C1.
But absolutely.
Some action in C2 also. Ravenna in Class C2 competing in the playoffs.
Yeah, Ravenna, and a tough draw for them too. They've got to turn around and play Donovan Trumbull again. They finished the year with them, suffered a 40-14 loss, and now they turn around and play them again. You say maybe disadvantaged, but at the same time, it could work in Ravenna's favor due to the fact that it's hard to beat a team twice in one season, let alone in back-to-back weeks. Yeah. So we'll see what happens there. You've kind of got the 3-headed monster rushing attack there for the Blue Jays with Blake Cremosta, Josh Boardman, and Tom Sizikowski. So they'll have to get the ground game going for Ravenna if they want a chance in this one.
And also Southern Valley's in Class C2 competing in the playoffs.
Yep, Southern Valley made the playoffs, and they are traveling to Crofton a tough warrior club a year in and year out. It seems like they're competitive on a regular basis. So obviously these teams haven't met. It's going to be quite the road trip for the Eagles. But Dylan Brooks and Dakota Best have kind of anchored the Southern Valley defense this year, and Southern Valley is going to need those two to step up and lead the way. They're going to have to corral that Crofton offense if they want a shot at winning this one.
Alrighty, and jumping down to Class D1 now in those matchups.
All right, first of all, you've got Arapahoe taking on South Loup. Now, in my mind, this is a tough draw for Arapahoe because South Loup is much better than their 3-5 record indicates. You've got Derek Hildebrand, who rushed for over 1,000 yards for the Bobcats, and they're going to give Arapahoe a pretty good run, I think. The Warriors are going to have their hands full, but of course they've got a trio of nice running backs there. Well, one being a quarterback, obviously dual threat, but Caden Waverka, Wyatt Anderson, and Gage Schutz will pace the Arapahoe offense. And also you've got Elm Creek hosting Stapleton, McPherson County, and there's a kid by the name of Austin Starr for SMC who's he's totaled 17 touchdowns this season. So Elm Creek's going to have to do a good job of kind of controlling him, and they're a 6-win ball club, so obviously a difficult first-round matchup for the Buffaloes. And finally, you've got Franklin. They're traveling to Elgin Pope John, the defending Class D1 champs. So a tall task for the Flyers in round 1.
Before we move on to D2, you forgot about Overton and Loup City's matchup.
I did. Thank you for pointing that one out. Of course, this is a rematch between these two ball clubs. Loup City got a 35-13 victory earlier in the season. So we'll see if Riley Lambert can repeat his Week 8 performance against the Overton Eagles. This is another very intriguing first-round matchup.
And finally, Class D2 matchups there that in our territory.
Yep, you've got Bertrand hosting Amherst. They didn't play this year, but the Vikings kind of had Amherst's number over the past couple years. But don't count the Broncos out. They suffered a tough loss to a 6-win Lawrence Nelson team in Week 8, a ball game the Broncos quite honestly could have won. So they're going to give the Vikings all they can handle. And also you've got Shelton hosting Elwood. Everyone knows Elwood. They can move the ball. They've got offense. They can score points. But I don't know if they've faced a team quite as big as Shelton so far this season. So we'll see how the Bulldogs manage against the Pirates in that one.
Good deal. Well, that's all your playoff matchups, and there's a lot of good matchups there to check out.
Really
classes C and D play Thursday night or Thursday afternoon, whatever time they schedule the games. And Kearney, Class A, will play Friday night here at Foster Field, like we said before. So, well, that's our show for today. Jason, I'll keep working on my playoff beard. I see you're trying to do yours as well. So
it's beginning stages. We're getting there.
Yeah, you'll have to come back next week to see just how far we take this thing. But thanks for stopping by the Sports Hub Tailgate on KearneyHub.com. Make sure you check the Hub print edition for your sports headlines, KearneyHub.com for breaking news, and the Sports Hub for random blogs, videos, other crazy stuff. If you want to get in contact with us, make sure you tweet us at HubSports_CSF, at JasonArons10, and let us know your thoughts about the show and maybe some props that we should have handed out. So,
that's right.
Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you next week.